This is the Eave65, an actual budget keyboard that's under $50 and actually in stock as well. I first heard about it from you guys in the Lucky 65 video, and it actually kind of caught my interest because of its price. So I decided to buy this with my own money and see if it's any good. So let's not waste any time, I want to focus more on the board, but let's start with the packaging. It honestly surprised me how well it was packaged. Budget boards nowadays tend to come in that usual box with the standard piece of foam that holds everything together. But this actually has somewhat of a more premium side of packaging. I wouldn't go over in so much detail, but it basically provides all the standard accessories you would need: the board, the case, the foam, the plate, or the PCB. But one thing to note, stabilizers are not included in this kit, but they do provide stabilizer shims for your stabilizers because the PCB is actually a 1.2mm PCB. Now the case we have is injection molded polycarbonate, so just think about KBD67 Lite. It was a really popular board at its time because of how cheap it was, at about $99. But now, injection molded polycarbonate, we're looking at below $50, so that's improvement. Now, in terms of the quality of the case itself, I would say this feels a little thinner and a little more refined, I would say. It has a rather simple and minimal shape to it, paired along with some curves on the side. It's pretty basic. Our PCB is the standard 5-pin hot swap paired with a polycarbonate plate, and we have the standard foam kit, PE, plate, and case foam. So the main focus in today's video will be sound. Let's see what foam configuration sounds good and what doesn't. So I prepped a set of stabilizers and installed them. I used the shims as well. I installed my daughter board, and it is also gasket mounted. So I just threw on the silicone gaskets and we are ready for our first build. Since we are using all the foam, we clearly want a deeper sounding build, or realistically that is what we should be getting. So the KeyGeek Y3s, as I've tested from one of my more recent videos, is one of the best switches in terms of helping you create a deeper sounding build. And for the keycaps I'll be using throughout the whole video, these are the PBT Fans Rim. A lovely pink set with red accents. It's paired along with the transparent base. I think it comes together really nicely. So here's how it sounds. In my opinion, it sounds alright. It doesn't sound amazing, but I really like how the board looks. The typing experience is pretty basic as well. There's nothing too special about it. The board just sounds a little dead, as it is fully foam. So for our second build, we'll try to go with something a little more poppier and lesser foam. This time around, we'll be using the plate foam only. Jesus. Hopefully that can make the cut. So pretty standard process. I dismantled the board, I removed the case and PE foam, and for switches, I'll be swapping them out to the HMX Macchiato switches. HMX switches in general are linear switches that tend to be a little more clackier and poppier, a little more light sounding. So if you're looking to create a poppy or clacky sounding board, then HMX switches are the way to go. And since we do not have our PCB foam anymore, we can actually see the backlight get a lot brighter, and it actually looks really nice when you pair the backlight with your keycaps. Anyway, here's how it sounds. I definitely do prefer this configuration. It sounds more alive, it sounds brighter, it has that poppy sound profile that I was looking for. But now let's try out our final build, a completely foamless build. Personally, I don't really enjoy doing completely foamless builds because of how annoying it is to install switches without the plate foam there. The light died. I'm gonna try to solve it. On the Eave65, our PCB actually doesn't have flex cuts, so it doesn't cause that much of a trouble. It was actually pretty easy compared to other foamless builds I've tried. Now for switches, I'll be trying out the HMX Syn High switches. These I have seen all over YouTube and I haven't actually tried them. I recently just got them because I kept seeing videos and how good they sound, so I decided why not try them out on this board. I also did want to mention that the flex on the keyboard is very subtle and it's not anything crazy. It's silicone gasket, so you can't really expect much from it. But for the price and the gasket being implemented, I think it's just doing its job and there's nothing to complain about it. Overall, it still provides for a pretty soft typing experience if you're comparing it to a tray mount. But here's how it sounds. This is probably the best configuration out of the three. Completely foamless, the board sounds really bright. The sound just doesn't sound as dead as the fully foamed one. But for my own personal preference, I found out that I actually prefer it with the PCB foam installed. Not the plate foam, the PCB foam. When it's completely foamless, I'm not sure if the mic could pick this up, but there's somewhat of like a case rattle, or like you can somewhat feel the case directly through your typing, and it feels a little weird. It's a little noisy, I would say, which is why with the PCB foam installed, it provides for a more cleaner sound profile. The clacks are a little cleaner and overall the whole typing just sounds less noisy. But ultimately, if you already have the board or if you're planning to buy the board, just build it however you want. I'm just here to show you my own preferences and what it could sound with different configurations. Now for the question of is it worth your money, honestly it's pretty easy yes. For the price, I got it at 50 Sing dollars. 50 Singapore dollars, I'm guessing about 40 US dollars. It's actually pretty cheap, and with everything that's provided, all you would need are stabilizers, switches and keycaps. And that's exactly where you would be choosing how you want your board to sound. And I do really enjoy seeing a kit instead of a pre-assembled board. I feel like we have seen so many pre-assembled boards nowadays that it kind of takes away that personal building experience in custom keyboards. So this Eave65, if you're interested, do check it out. I'm not sponsored, not affiliated. I bought this with my own money. So anyway, subscribe if you enjoy my content, like this video if you enjoyed this video, and comment your thoughts on the Eave65. If you have one, let me know which configuration you prefer, and maybe just let me know other boards you would want me to try. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.